Thank you for tuning in to the Stuff I Heard podcast. I'm your host, Joshua Peak. And to quote my wife, I am just tired.
Yes, we
we,
just come off vacation.
we, we, it's like that moment where you see the cartoon character skid into the room and it makes that sound effect. Like they're going around the corner and their feet are going, but they're not quite moving yet. And then they kind of catch off. Yeah. That's kind of how it's felt this whole trip.
Yeah, I thought the older you get, you're supposed to slow down and not do as much. And I feel like it just the opposite.
We specifically started off with this trip thinking we're going to take it easy. We're going to go see a few shows. We're not going to push ourselves. How did that go?
Not good.
We did get to see
I
some
mean, we
shows.
got to see a lot of stuff. Well, number one, we went to Disney, which
Walt Disney World,
Walt Disney World
for those laymen out there.
in Buena Vista, Florida.
Buena Vista.
Florida. And
That's Spanish for Buena Vista. I don't know. Good
okay.
view. I don't know what that means.
Actually, it is. We heard this while we were on this
It
trip.
means good view.
It was, yeah, it's
Lovely
actually
view.
Buena Vista is the name of a street in Anaheim. I think is what we
Yeah, that's
heard,
what they claim.
something like that. So that's some of the names of that was at the Disneyland. That's at the Disneyland park. They actually brought over with them when they built in Orlando. But we went to Disney, spent the week,
The whole week.
the whole week.
Yeah. So, okay. Our idea was we're going to get to see some Christmas decorations.
We did.
We're going to get to see some shows.
We did.
We're going to leisurely walk around the park and just enjoy
We
everything and looking around.
no,
No.
no.
Do you think other people had the same
I
plan?
think everybody in America, let me rephrase it, everybody in the world had the
Mhm.
same idea. This is the first time we've been in December since 2012.
Yeah.
We have been there before at the end of October.
I
We
think
actually spent 1 week there. Do you remember the week that we spent there where we started off the first part of the week with fall decorations?
Yep.
And we transitioned over by the end of the week, the Christmas decorations were up.
Yep.
Yeah. This time we waited and I wanted to do the month of December
because you wanted to see the candlelight processional.
because I wanted to see Candlelight Processional at Epcot and I wanted to see Christmas decorations and got to do both.
Yeah.
And it's way more crowded than what I remember. This is the first time we've gone in December in a long time. And I have several thoughts on going the month of December.
Which is?
I don't know that I'll do it again.
I don't know that I'll do it again either.
I know that the week between Christmas and New Year is their busiest, hands down, their busiest time of the year all year long. From from Christmas time until after the New Year. I cannot imagine it being any busier than what it was this time. Now, I've been all
You still
different
look a little
seasons.
shell shocked.
I've been all different seasons. And to me, we've been before with the kids.
4th of July,
We've been 4th of July,
which was awful.
which was awful because it was what, 100.
Really, really hot.
It was really hot. This time the weather was perfect. Now we couldn't have asked for any better weather as far as it rained one time and it just so happened that we were able to skip out of a park and go over to Animal Kingdom Lodge and see their decorations, which I would recommend anybody that takes the time to go to Disney World during the Christmas season to go to the Animal
Yeah.
Lodge and see those decorations.
It's beautiful.
It's very pretty. Um,
Now to get there is kind of tricky because
yeah,
you can't just get in your car and drive up and be like, I want to see decorations. They're going to stop you at the gate and be like, are you staying here?
or do you
No.
have a reservation
Do you
to
have a
eat here?
reservation to eat here? No, then you can't just
You
stop
have
in.
to get on
You
their
have to get on their buses.
Yep. Now, although that we couldn't have timed that any better. The one afternoon that we did get a little bit of rain, and it probably didn't even rain a full hour, right?
Right.
But the weather going up to that was nice.
Yeah.
It did get cool. Was it the next day after the little bit of rain?
Yeah, we knew it was going to turn and
But it was comfortable all day. It didn't get bad. It didn't get cold to me.
yeah, but it was one of those things where you go, do I wear pants? Do I wear
Yes.
shorts?
Now
Do
that
I
to
bring a
me,
jacket? Do I not bring a jacket? If I don't do it now, do I have time to come back to the room and change? Do I want to do that? I mean, and of course, every time we talked about it, our decision was we'll just come back and change.
It just seemed to me like
Mm,
this time was way more crowded than what I remember December being years ago. Now, is that because it is more crowded or because I
no,
see it different?
I
I
think
view it
I
different.
think there's a couple of viewpoints. I think number one, you've got people like ourselves who talk about our trip to Disney. There's a lot of podcasts out there who talk about their trip to Disney and they say, hey, go during this time. It's not as busy. And 10,000 people hear that and they go, okay, I think I'll book during
Is
that
that
time.
what's changed it? Do you
Yes,
think?
social media has helped people book vacations and hopefully gone where they can get the experience that they want. If it's during the summer because kids are out of school, then they go during the summer. If it's like we were in a situation where some of the children there were on a trip because maybe they were involved in a portion of the Christmas
I don't know. You don't
singing.
ever go there anymore that you
Um,
don't see. I don't think there is an off
there's a
season
lot of
anymore.
there's a lot of younger parents with young kids that aren't in school yet, which is a great time to go for them because then they can do the little Christmas photos with Santa and with Mickey, and that's great. But like I heard a lady at dinner one night say, when are they just going to have it open for just 55 and older? And I was like, that's a kind of a small population of people that are going to want to come here or can physically come here. I mean, the way she was describing it, she kind of wanted her little home park to be what Disney is, and that's not feasible.
Yeah, I'm totally amazed at the amount of people that go there that I don't know if they don't realize how much walking or how draining it is. There are a lot of wheelchairs and what are those things called? The scooters.
Scooters,
There's a
yeah.
lot of those. I don't know why that seems to be more now. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just that I notice it more now because I'm getting close to scooter age.
You're getting close to that time we're going to need a scooter.
But
Maybe we can get his and her scooters. Do they have? I
it is
didn't
a
see a
lot.
single scooter for two. They should have come up with those.
It no, can you imagine how the double strollers
Woo-woo.
will take you out in a crowd?
Yeah,
I
it's bad
mean,
enough I had a lady hit me in the back of the legs with her stroller from like a subdivision stroller, one of those doubles.
yes, those
Just
strollers are
smacked me
big.
in the back, and I was like, "Whoa!" She's like, "You can move now." I was like, "What?
Yeah,
where's the Christmas spirit here? Where's
it's changed a lot.
the
It's
Disney magic?"
it's the Disney magic, and I say this as a person who has loved it since my very first trip when I was a senior in high school in 1982.
I think the Disney
The
magic
Disney
struggles.
magic is not what it used to be.
It's struggling.
And I don't know, is that because people are just not respectful anymore?
It's not just that. Okay, so it's a lot of things. Number one, you've got a population boom of people who maybe would have taken a vacation to cruise, but then you see stuff online about cruise ships that get people stranded out in the ocean where they're stuck. They can't make port. You haven't seen that?
Not as
Oh, it's happened a lot lately, especially with Carnival. It's been awful.
well. Who would go on Carnival to begin
People that
with?
get trapped on their cruise ship for like a month at a time or 2 weeks at a time and they
Well,
can't get off.
yeah, I would
Um,
not cruise on Carnival if that
yeah.
was if
Apparently
they were the only cruise line left.
something in my TikTok algorithm shows me what horrible things can go wrong on a cruise ship on vacation, and it's always Carnival when I see that on. But anyway, so people go, I want to go somewhere local. I want to go somewhere. Oh, I know, Disney. My parents took me to Disney. Let's go to Disney. Okay. Now here's the thing. Disney has prided themselves on the fact that they create a bubble that once you enter, you're supposed to be in the magic, right? You're supposed to be, hey, everything's fine now. I don't have to worry about anything. I just hop on their transportation and go to their show and sit back and have dinner here. And as long as I sign the check, I'm in that Disney bubble and everything's great. Okay. They do a great job of keeping things pretty clean and maintained
Yeah,
pretty
that's
well.
not as
And
good
it's
as.
not as much as they used to.
And is that because people are less respectful, or
No, it's
there's
because
a help situation
there's
of
there's two
keep
things. There's a help situation and there's also such an influx of people that they can't keep up.
that's I think it's more of that. I don't
Yeah.
know. I didn't see any one particular ride attraction or anything like that that didn't seem like it had enough people. Although I honestly did not notice as many people trying to keep areas clean
Right.
as I have in the past. Now, maybe I couldn't notice that because there were so many people.
Yeah.
We've always done the latter part of October for the last several years. Last year we went in May for a different reason. We went with your mom
Yeah.
and Dan, and we went because she was out her college class. She teaches college, so they were out. And although the weather was warmer, I don't remember the crowds being as bad as they were this time.
Yeah, but also like I noticed on this trip, you and I both picked up garbage and put it in trash cans because it was just why isn't somebody picking this up?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's absolutely horrendously dirty.
No,
It's not. But I noticed several places where like popcorn being spilt and walked on looked to me like it had been there longer. I mean, I realize spills are going to happen all the
sure.
time. You've got that many thousands of people. It's
Yeah.
hard to keep it
100,000
spotless.
people at every park.
But it looked to me like there was places that looked a little bit dirtier.
Yeah.
I mean, every restroom I went in, now I don't know how they do the men's restrooms. I don't go in the men's restrooms. Every women's restroom has an attendant. Everyone.
Oh,
I don't know that I went in a restroom all week long that did not have somebody in it. Maybe at our resort, at the restroom at the resort didn't have somebody like full time. But every other one, it was. I never went in one that didn't have tissue, that didn't have paper towels, that
okay.
didn't have soap in the soap dispenser. That's from what I experienced. Now they may maintain the men's restroom different. I don't know.
Yeah, the men's restroom, I can tell you had toilet paper, but at times the sinks didn't work, and at times the paper towels were out.
I didn't have any issue. I had issues with the hand sensor to get the
the
water to run on some
so,
of them.
there was some of the maintenance issues I noticed, like doors not having the hinge latch properly or being able to latch, just from just use. I
Yeah.
mean, and a lot of it again is just you have so many people, and some of it is disrespectful guests.
Yes. Very.
We experienced a little bit of that with a young crowd from it sounded like England, this young 20-ish group, or, not even 20, maybe 18, 17, 18, something like that. Just being turds. And I thought, for a brief moment, I thought, I'm going to throttle this kid. And I thought, no, I can't be banned for life. I got grandkids I want to bring here.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to hurt this kid because he was just being a
Yeah.
turd.
Now there's a lot. I mean, there is a
Oh,
lot of different.
and I was like, there's no way to police this as a guest. You're just kind of dealt with turds sometimes. And then you just got to figure out how to enjoy the magic around the turds.
I mean, even for people who've gone as many times as we've gone, and we go at least once a year, sometimes twice a year. And we still, I mean, 2 days of this trip, we actually logged over 10 miles of
Yeah.
walking. But we did, for the first time ever, we did all four parks in one day.
We did.
We did all, and we did a ride. At least we did actually at Animal Kingdom. We started off at Animal Kingdom that morning. We did everything we wanted to do in the Animal Kingdom.
That was our rain day.
That was the day that it actually rained. We left there and went over to Animal Kingdom Lodge to see the decorations. Then we went to Hollywood Studios and rode a ride.
Mm-hmm.
We went into.
We didn't even tell them what we did at Animal Kingdom.
We did. Oh, that's where we saw the show, the Nemo and Friends.
Nemo and Friends
That
show.
was fantastic.
Yeah. The show we passed by a bunch of times and go, and then we watched it and it was great.
It was great.
We had such a good time, and it was like I was trying to describe it to somebody. I said it's like kind of like the Cirque du Soleil puppets, but with people singing and interaction and stuff with the crowd, and it was a lot of fun, and it was beautiful. I mean, the way the stage is set up, they can run through the crowds, and there was all kinds of interaction.
That was very nice.
I could see us going to that again.
And that was one of the things I wanted. I definitely wanted to do that show. Mm-hmm. There was a couple of shows that we wanted to make sure that we saw.
But we also got to ride rides. We rode Everest. Yeah. We rode Dinosaur.
Yeah. We rode everything at that part we wanted to ride, and we left there.
The Flight of Passage and the Navi River.
Yeah.
I mean, we did 5 rides there
we
plus
did.
a show, and then we did 3 other parks.
Yep. We did.
We kicked some butt that day.
We did. That was our 10. I want to say that was like 23,000 for me. Now, mind you, I'm 4'11", so my stride is very small.
She took a lot more steps.
Very short stride.
We did the same distance, but
so I logged. I want to say 23,200 and something another.
Yeah, I was looking at mine, And then the next day,
No, it was 2 day and 2 days later we did another 20. We did more
well,
than
mine
23,000.
just went up and up and up. I
Yeah.
mean, golly, I was like, I think the next day we were on the bus and you were like, I don't think we did as much as yesterday. I was like, no, we did more.
Yeah.
And we did more.
We did more. That
And then
was
we had
on.
another day we did even more than that. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh geez. But yeah, we were able to ride several rides at every park. We got to go to
That was
after we
on.
left Animal Kingdom, we went to what was it
Went
or
to
Hollywood
Hollywood
Studios?
Studios and
We
rode.
did Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Then we went to the room and changed because that was the
Then
day
it was
that
getting cold
it
because
get
the rain came
yeah
in.
got a little cooler. So we
Got
went.
to the room and changed. And then we went to Epcot
Yes, and rode Guardians.
and rode Guardians of the Galaxy. That's right, because we had a lightning lane. Ooh, that was nice. We got 3
We did get to
rides
ride the Guardians of the
on
Galaxy
the
3
Guardians of the
times this time,
Galaxy.
which is hands down our favorite ride there.
But
at
now, if you're
all
coming
4
from Pop
parks.
Century, picture the walking that you got to do from your room to the Skyliner, then get over to Epcot, and you're on the back gate. You got to run all through the land, and then get over to where Guardians is, and then you ride the ride. Then you got to go through the front to get on the monorail to go over to Magic Kingdom, and yeah,
That's the
it's a
night.
lot of
Yeah, we
steps.
did the Magic Kingdom last that night for fireworks, and we
Yep.
rode a couple of rides after the fireworks.
We did. I know we did. Is that the day we did Snow White's Seven Dwarfs Mine Train?
No, that was another day.
Oh, what did we ride that day?
We rode after the fireworks. We did a Small World,
We did a Small World.
and I can't remember what else we did that night. We did a couple of rides after the fireworks.
Yep.
And then we
watched the fireworks from a weird place that we've never done it before. We actually had heard on a podcast about seeing them from Fantasyland
from behind the castle.
from behind the castle, and that was our first time doing that. And I got to tell you, it was kind of neat.
It was different.
I mean, we didn't get to see all of the mapping that's on the front of the castle, but I mean, it was cool having fireworks in front of you, behind you, and around you.
Yes,
I mean, it was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I mean, it's just we were constantly twirling our heads around to see it
That
all.
was neat. That was a long day.
Yeah.
That was a long day.
Every day I kept thinking my hip is going to fall off at any moment. It's just going to come unhinged from the side and just pop right off.
Well, I could tell that I'm not in the kind of shape I used to be in. Although
I'm in a bigger shape than I used to be.
It's you would just think that as many times as we've been that that we would not walk as much each. We would walk less and less each time, and it seems just the opposite.
As aggressive as we always do.
Yes.
You and I both have a tendency to get aggressive in the crowds to walk a little faster.
Yeah.
All 4'11" of you making strides like a 6-footer.
It was there was a couple of times that I was really questioning, do I want to come back here?
Yeah.
And I do want to go back. As a matter of fact, I booked again for next year before I left, because you save a lot of money when you do that. But I don't know that I will do December.
So for those who don't know, right now they're doing a promotion where they call it the Bounce Back program, where if you go ahead and book your next vacation within 6 days of you checking out, you get to save 30% on booking your next vacation. Not that I want any of you to do it.
You have to go first for your trip.
Because I don't want you to go when I go, because I want there to be nobody in my way so I can walk around and enjoy the park like I want. But if you're so inclined to go, please choose other dates than I've chosen.
Well, I think that we've had some amazing trips down there.
Yes.
I mean, in February of 21, it was right after COVID. We had to wear masks. It was, they were open. They were open. But and you didn't have to wear a mask outside, but you had to wear a mask indoors. And I remember going into that thinking, this is going to be terrible. Weird. But it was actually one of our better trips because the crowds were so low.
There was 35% max capacity.
And so that was amazing.
That allowed us to walk on just about everything.
Yes.
The only time we ever stood in line on that trip was to stand in line for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
I don't even remember that.
We did.
What, long enough to load? I don't think that whole
30
trip,
minutes.
We stood in line even 30 minutes.
You still had the 6 feet
now
whatever.
The lines looked extremely long with the distance.
We still went through there pretty quickly. But yeah, we enjoyed a lot of that. And
they didn't have fireworks in 21 when we were there in February, which meant that every park was closed. They closed at 7 p.m., which was a good thing. We were back in our room early.
And we ended up getting up early so we could hit the park early.
So, yeah.
But this time, there was a couple of things that we did that I really liked. We bought the photo pass ahead of time
Yes.
so that we could take photos at Christmas in front of Christmas trees and around all the
Not us
things.
take photos, them take
Them take
photos.
photos of us, professional photos, not just us doing selfies and
The
stand
now
here.
to me that is worth every penny if you utilize it.
Right.
Because you get your pictures on most of the attractions.
Yep.
The ones that take pictures on the attractions, you get those.
Yep.
Plus you can get a photo pass photographer to take your picture, and they do a fantastic job.
Mm-hmm. They're
And
staged all over the
yeah,
place to get you the perfect photo and you and your family. And I mean, they're all over the place. And I don't know, like you were saying, I don't know if they're contracted individually or if they are contracted through Disney or how that
yeah,
works. But
I'm not
man,
sure.
we got some great photos from
We
that.
did. We did. And
And
you don't have to carry anything other than your phone I mean, you don't have to carry a nice camera to take
yeah,
pictures.
yeah.
You let them do it.
Just
And
scan
I
your
want to say
armband,
that package is the photo pass,
which we'd only done one other time ever.
and we purchased it while we were there. So we paid, I think you save a good you say it's under $200. I think it's like 189
Yeah.
whenever you purchase it beforehand, and they will one person can purchase it, and they'll take as many photos of, I mean, you don't have to have just one person in the photos. You can have as many people. We saw several where there was what, 5, 6, I mean,
Unless you
multiple.
see us in line and then you just take one and get out of the way. Because we don't need you to take a personal photo shoot if we're next in line.
Well, the photographers were doing that.
I know.
So the photo package is well
I
worth
know.
buying
I'm
it.
trying to sell people on how great it is and also tell them not to do it while I'm there.
I don't think we have enough listeners to worry about that.
Listen, all tens of you need to talk to the other tens of you. And then hopefully all of you will know not to book vacation when I'm going to be there. Okay. That's all I need you to do. Just go all the other times. There's 51 other weeks out of the year. Just don't book during the middle of September. Okay.
It was
That's all.
it was a busy week.
Yeah. Now there was a few things that we noticed that you and I both commented on, not just cleanliness issues, but on ride breakdown issues. Again, is that because they're not maintaining them like they should?
I don't know.
Or is it just because of the use and things break down and it's just
What do
a
you mean by
coincidence?
breakdown? Like not working, period?
Like Slinky, like not Slinky Dog, Toy Story Mania.
Oh yeah, well that
We had a situation. We had a situation on a ride, Toy Story Mania. For those of you who don't know, is a ride that you can get on, and it's like a shooting gallery game that you are riding on a thing, and it's fun, it's interactive, and
it's 4D.
It's 4D. You actually have a little thing with a plunger, and you pull back on it, and it makes it shoot off little doohickeys, and you get points for little things, and it's a fun little ride to ride. And when it first opened up, everybody thought no one's going to ride this, and it became quickly one of the most popular
One of
rides
the most
there.
popular rides.
And they were like, "Oh crap, we got to build more." So they did. They expanded and they added more lanes.
They actually have 3 tracks.
They have 3 different tracks there, and
well, no, they're all the same. You get
Yeah.
the same experience, but they can handle 3 times the capacity of people.
Right. But if you ever have the Disney app on your phone and you look at wait times, it's always around an hour. It is still one of the most popular rides, even with 3 lanes
Yes.
of people loading. So we get in line, and
It
in
said
the
what,
beginning,
40
it
minutes?
said 40 minutes. An hour later, we're sitting on the ride, and it breaks as we haven't even taken off yet. We're ready to go. Matter of fact, you even took a picture of me, and you're like, "Oh, look, it's like we did the picture back when we first wrote it." And I was like, "Yeah."
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden, they were like, back up, people. We're gonna redivert you to this other area, blah 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 blah." And I was like, "Okay, what's happening?" And next thing you know, they're opening up the thing and telling us to get off. And some little lady's like, "Let me scan your band. I'll give you a lightning lane for somewhere else." And I'm like, "But I want to ride this. Like, I've just waited in line for an hour." And they're like, "Sorry. Have a great day." I'm like, what just happened?
Yeah, no, that's the one thing I didn't agree with.
And I was like, okay, so first of all, if you took me off the ride that I just waited an hour for, have me go with the other group of people that just went the other direction and let me ride on the other side. But no, you kicked me off the ride, and then you were like, "Good luck, ride something else." Now this is like at 5 o'clock at night, and everything is shutting down. Lightning lanes are shutting down. We go to try to use our lightning lane somewhere else, and they say, "Oh, nope, there's no lightning lanes available for you." And I was like, "You gotta be kidding me." So I was a little upset. I got on
Well, first you would have to say what a lightning lane is.
a lightning lane is something you can book so that you can ride things.
You can
It's
skip
a
part of the
preferred
line.
reference. It's like
Yes.
a fast pass kind of thing.
Yes.
Anyway, so I got a little.
Basically, what they were doing was they told our car, there was us and there
They
was
told us
people
tough.
behind us. They probably only evacuated 8 people off the actual ride.
Hmm.
The people that were in line behind us that were standing waiting to get on, they moved all of those people and said, "Oh, don't worry, you're going to get to ride. We're just going to have to move you to another track,"
Right.
which is what they did.
Which is what they should have done with us.
Which is what they should have done with us, but instead they made us come out of the actual ride vehicle,
Exit the whole place.
We exited the ride vehicle just like we did if we were finished with the ride, and
Yeah.
then they said, "See this lady,
Have fun. Bye-bye.
she's going to give you a free lightning lane for another ride."
Yeah.
And that's what they said. But once
then
we
when we went to
walked
use
away, yes,
The only lightning lanes that were available at that time of night were shows that we'd just seen, like Muppet Vision and the Frozen show. And I was like, I don't want to use a lightning lane for that. I want to ride the ride that I stood in line for. I want to get in this. And we thought, okay, well, let's try to use it somewhere else. And they were like, nope, there's none available. And if you opened up the app, I took a picture of it. It said there was no lightning lanes available for that ride. So we found a single rider line for the Star Wars Rise of the Republic.
Rise of the Resistance.
That's what I said. Rise of the Resistance. And we're in the single rider line. First time we'd ever been on the single rider line. We didn't know what it was going to be like. But while we were in line, I thought, hey, I wonder if they have a chat line where I can at least let somebody know there's a better way to handle this with your guests. So I got on a live chat with Annette, and Annette listened to my issue and tried to come up with solutions that would let her not have to do a lot of work. And then after I told her that, hey, this kind of way you treat your customers is the way you lose customers. And if nothing else, I want you to use this as a training tool for the next people so that you don't treat customers this way who've been in line for an hour and then waste their time and tell them, sorry, that's not the way to handle it. I said, the whole idea of the Disney magic is that you make things happen. Why can't I get on the ride? The park is open. All you have to do is say, fine, we'll honor this lightning lane right here. I need you to do that. Otherwise, I'm going to leave here with a bad taste in my mouth, and it's not going to be good. She was like, okay, hang on just a second. Meanwhile, we rode the ride, and the chat bubbles on my phone was 17 minutes later. She's like, I'm still working on it. And then 32 minutes later, I think I'm working on it still. May have a solution. And then finally it said, okay, I've got your lightning lanes open for Slinky Dog or for the Toy Story Mania. Go enjoy the ride. I hope this makes your day magical. And I was like, oh, that's the sweetest way she told me to piss off that she could ever say. I hope your day is magical. I hope your day is magical. I could just picture her doing it. Magical. Anyway, it was magical. Thank you, Annette. You went the extra mile. You did the thing I wanted you to do to begin with that we could have done an hour before that, but they finally did.
Well, I mean, I get that things break down,
but there should be a better plan.
Right. I mean,
like you know that things are going to happen as a park. You constantly are having guest issues. You're having equipment issues. When things go wrong, have an action plan to go forward so that everybody feels like they got treated the right way.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to say that I'm sure they have an action plan.
Yeah, but they handled ours incorrectly.
They handled ours incorrectly in the sense that it was already that late in the day. I'm sure that it was common knowledge to everybody that was an employee of the parks that worked that particular day that we're busy this week. This is a busy week. I mean, we know whenever we have busy weeks or busy days at our own job. Chaotic. I mean, so
yeah,
it's late in the day. Offering somebody a free lightning lane is not. I don't understand why they didn't just put the 8 of us
on another route.
Well, right. Why didn't they just put us back in line with the people that were still in line and move us? Because they moved all of those people in order.
Yeah.
And they said, don't worry. I even heard one of the cast members very nicely
get to ride it.
Yeah. Very nicely say, please we're just going to move you to the other side. You're
Yeah.
going to get to ride, I promise.
Now,
That's-
my hope and my
Oh, you think Annette learned something from
imagination-
that? No,
no, I'm hoping that got passed along to somebody, and,
No.
and somebody at Disney headquarters is like, we should train people on how to do this a little differently. That's
No,
all I wanted. I wanted somebody to be like, you're right. We're going to talk about this. This is
no,
a different
I
way to
don't
do
think.
this.
I think you're expecting way too much.
I
there.
am. Well, as a trainer, that's my job. My job is to constantly look at situations and go, how can we do this better? Oh, here's a way we could do it better. So I
Well-
wanted to have her a teachable moment.
Yeah, I'm sure she took that right straight to her supervisor.
I'm sure Annette
Well, I'm sure her name.
passed that along right to everybody that needed to know.
No.
And right now, Bob, whatever, what's his name?
Bob Iger.
Bob Iger is like at a desk going, "Good job, Annette. We should get
Yeah.
we should get Twinkie and Twiddletoes over here and discuss to them what to do next time so that they don't do this the wrong way. Because obviously we need to do this the right way. And then Iger's gonna like reach out, to an email to us and be like, "So sorry, Mr. Peak. Hope you and your wife Dolores had a wonderful, magical time, and we're gonna give Annette a little elbow for
Well, I will have to say
doing the extra work and going the extra mile." And
the one good
would
thing.
your wife like to be Tinkerbell at least once in her life?
The
And I would
one
think,
good thing
yes,
about
she
the
does.
crowd.
She would definitely like to be Tinkerbell once. And he's like,
I don't want to dress up as Tinkerbell.
No. We're gonna push you out of the castle.
Yeah, I want to be the one that zip lines down.
We're gonna get Annette to push you.
That
out
would
of
be
the
my
castle.
dream. That is my dream job. Yes, I want to zip line from Cinderella's castle down to Fantasyland in the
Listen.
Tinkerbell lit up outfit.
I know somebody out there knows Bob Iger. Please pass this along.
That
My wife's dying. You don't even know it. She has a terminal illness. She's
No.
gonna die, and she wants to be. You will one day.
No.
Anyway, so she wants to be Tinkerbell at least once and fly out of the castle. Can we make that happen? Is there anybody? Can we phone a friend? Can we start a petition? Is there a GoFundMe? How does this work?
You know that started in Disneyland. I know you've heard me say that I've listened to a podcast before where the lady that did that originally, when Walt got the idea, was a retired gymnast.
Mhm.
And she very tiny. She did this until she was like close
Listen,
to 80 years old.
You're almost retired.
That's all she did. She
Right.
would come, she would take the bus from wherever she lived around the Anaheim area. I'm not really sure exactly where she lived. I don't remember that from the podcast. But this lady would get on the bus and she'd take the bus to Anaheim to Disneyland, and she would put on the Tinkerbell outfit. And back then, because this was way back, she would zip line from the castle straight down to Fantasyland. And at the end of Fantasyland, because that was way before zip lining was what it is today. I mean,
know.
now you can do zip lining on a lot of different tourist attractions and things.
Sometimes even upside down.
They would stop her because of the force of, she would build up speed as she came from down on the zip line from the castle to where she would land. And I think she landed on top of a building in Fantasyland. They would stop her with mattresses. They had a stack of mattresses stacked together, and that's how they would catch her when she would fly down from the castle.
I wonder if it ever hit and like it went, poof, like in the
I
cartoon.
don't know.
A little dust cloud comes out.
But
Then they call it pixie ducks.
But the Walt Disney Company paid her to do that. That's the only thing she did for years. And she did that for a really long time.
Listen, Bob, you wouldn't even have to pay my wife. Like,
Oh, I'd do it
she
for
would,
free.
She would do it
I would
happily.
pay to do it.
She would be like, "Sign me
Yeah.
up. I will be."
Now,
your
I will have to
Tinkerbell."
say the fact that it was as crowded as it was this week definitely stopped me from spending as much money shopping. Although I did get some shopping done. I went into that
Are you
with
saying that Disney missed out on your money?
yes,
because
they missed out on some money because it was way too
because
crowded
they
to
were
shop.
too busy trying to get other people's money.
No, it was so crowded.
Yeah.
I could have definitely spent more money shopping if I would have been able to had a little bit more ability to see what was there to buy, because it was just so crowded in all of the shops. And that World of Disney store at Disney Springs is, I guess it's probably the one of the larger Disney stores in the world. I mean, it's a big store. It's got multiple entrances and exits, but good gosh, there were so many people in there that you couldn't see merchandise. There were so many people.
Let me ask you this. You've been going for 40 years.
I've been going, my first time was in spring break, April of 82.
What's your favorite ride so far?
Favorite ride so far, or you're talking about
Your favorite ride so far?
the best ride?
I didn't ask best. I said, what's your favorite?
Oh, my favorite ride will always be, and I say this, and it is one of the worst rides now, Space Mountain.
Okay.
And it's just because of the nostalgia. It's what I remember. I remember riding that with my siblings.
And if it's
And my dad.
If Space Mountain could be improved on, what would you say?
To me, they need to redo Space Mountain. They need
Yeah.
to leave Space Mountain like it is, but they need new track and new cars so that it is a more
So it's not
smoother.
herky jerky
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and cranking on you.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, roller coasters nowadays are way different than what they were
Yeah.
back in the 70s.
Oh, I agree.
That's the only thing about that ride is it just beats you around so bad you feel like you've just gotten out of a rugby game.
Well, and the best one they have, of course, is
Guardians of the Galaxy.
which we've heard that the track is similar. Now,
It's
is
a
that-
steel. I mean, you've seen
Yeah, but
Space Mountain with
if
the
the track
lights
is
on it.
similar, that means that they've built the track separately, thinking they may have replaced it with something smoother, and went, no, let's just make a new ride. Why can't they just make the same thing again and replace the track like you were talking about and have it be smoother?
I'm sure it cost.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it's cost. It's cost. You
Okay.
don't want the downtime. That is, people still ride it. People still stand in line for an hour for Space Mountain,
Not
just like it
anymore.
is.
Not
Yes,
anymore.
I've seen wait times. I've seen wait times
No.
close to an hour. Yes.
We were there when it was busy and it was only like 10 minutes.
No, it was longer than that.
Yeah, well,
But now we
Now-
got on it quickly.
I will say that the one in Disneyland is cooler,
Yes.
mainly because it has the Star Wars overlay, and then
Just
you
when
get to hear Han go,
right.
punch it, Chewie, and then it's got the laser blasts and the. all
Yes,
the
I
stuff
would
and
love to
scary.
see them. I would love to have that ride reimagined.
Well, and it's being
Similar
The ride
to-
is similar to, like you said, the track itself is similar to Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy is by far the cooler ride.
I would love to see them do it.
It's so much fun.
Then the indoor steel coaster
Yeah.
with the space theme, they could still do all of that. It just needs to be updated, which the Matterhorn out in Disneyland's the same way.
Yeah, that'll beat you to death.
That one will beat you to death.
You need a chiropractor once you're off
It's
of it.
the older steel roller coaster type ride.
Yeah, we rode it one time, and immediately both of us were like, "Well, that's one and done."
Yeah.
Oh golly,
But
that
I
hurts.
still I mean, I've been to Disney World so many times, but Space Mountain is
See, I would
always,
be willing to say that your favorite ride is It's a Small World.
no,
because you ride it every time.
I do for nostalgia. Just for
We hopped on it again this time,
We
even
did.
though we say every time, "I'm not riding stupid Small World," and then we're on it and we're like, "This is still kind of a cute ride."
but Space Mountain was, I guess, and it's just the memory. I remember riding that, and the cars were different back then in 82 than they are now. Now you have like, it's 3 to a car and you've got your own little individual seat. Now those seats are small.
Yeah.
Years ago, it was 4 people rode, and you had like 2 people that sat on a bench together, and then another. It was like a rocket. It was a rocket. It was still a rocket, but now you have 3 individual seats, where before it was like a bench seat. 2 people could sit on it, and then 2 in the back. I rode that ride with my sister, my brother, and my dad, and me. So it was me and Cindy up front, and Lee and Daddy in the back. And that was the first time I ever rode a ride where that was probably my first roller coaster.
Mhm.
I mean, we didn't, I was a senior in high school before I got to go there the first time. And it was fun. I mean, me and Cindy, I think that's when we both really realized that we liked the roller coaster rides. We screamed, we laughed, and I remember my dad thinking that we were scared to death because he reached up from the car behind or the seat behind us and reached around and was patting me on the shoulder saying, "It's going to be over soon. It's going to be over soon." Because he thought we were scared to death. And as we got off, we were both grinning from ear to ear. And
Meanwhile, Lee could have been
I
petrified,
have no idea.
just
I'm sure I don't even know what his memories are.
white knuckling it the whole way.
But I remember, when we got off, Daddy was shocked to find out that we weren't screaming because we were scared to death. We were screaming because we were having such a great time.
Yeah.
So every time I ride, that memory, I do remember riding It's a Small World the first time in 82, and I remember Pirates of the Caribbean, and I remember the Haunted Mansion, because we stayed there from opening until closing.
Yeah.
And that was back when the electrical
light parade.
Oh God, that was so pretty. But Space Mountain is the one thing that I remember to this day, the exact time that I was on that ride. So maybe that's why that one is the ride for me. Now, do they have better rides? Oh, heck yeah. There's a lot of better rides. Toy Story, Slinky Dog. There are so many rides that I love to do there. But that one will always be my absolute favorite.
It's also weird because we've been so many times, we see the areas where things aren't working like they used to.
Yes, most definitely.
And I'd heard that matter of fact, I saw it on TikTok, that the Mickey's Runaway Railway, the only time it ever breaks down is because of the tornado, because the wind blows so hard, it gets people's hats and sunglasses, and
oh really?
And it gets caught in things,
Mm-hmm.
and then they have to come and clean it out because the cars are running on magnets and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and it gets caught underneath things, and that's what causes it to have to be serviced. But the tornado effect is what causes that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of downtime. Rock and Roller Coaster.
Yeah,
we looked
was
at
down
it,
a lot,
which I mean, for some reason that weren't really on my radar to ride. It's usually a ride that we ride.
Yeah.
But the two different times that I actually looked at it with the thoughts of, okay, because I always like to ride Tower of Terror, and I ride it by myself. That's not one of your favorites. But both times I looked about going to that side of the park when we were in Hollywood Studios, it was down.
Mm-hmm.
The weird thing is that ride was just down for months for a very detailed refurbishment. And for some reason it's not they're having downtime.
Yeah.
There's several rides that has a good bit of downtime. Rise of the Resistance is another one.
Oh yeah.
And of course we noticed, I actually on the way home listened to a podcast I did while you slept.
I took a little nap.
Yeah. That Rise of the Resistance, we've noticed that there's two particular things that don't work anymore in them. That ride was 5 years old Thursday of this week, and there's already two things that are completely not working. Now, if you didn't see them, if you've never seen it working, you wouldn't know, because the ride is awesome. Don't get me wrong. The ride is awesome. But those two things, they say that it is so that they more than likely will not and get them back up and running. But they said that a lot of the problem is not necessarily it's the cost. It's sometimes it's what's designed is not cost effective for the actual operation. That's what they were explaining on the podcast, was the fact that the Imagineers put together this concept for a ride and actually get it working. But then when it goes live in the parks, the operations part of all of that, they realize we can't continually do this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like any other company where one hand don't talk to the other. So that's a lot of the reasons why some of those two things probably will never work again on that ride.
Yeah. Now, I gotta say, I was happy that the weather was cooler. I know you said you prefer it to be a little warmer, but I was happy with it being a little bit cooler. I felt like in the past, when we go in the summertime, we struggle to get the air conditioner to kind of keep up with us being comfortable at night. But
That wasn't a problem this
I
time.
slept great on this one, and we got to sleep in this time. Normally, we're up at the break of dawn and just running all day, and this time we slept in.
And
I
still
slept in
running
one
all
day
day.
till like
Yeah.
9:32 or 9:23 or whatever it was. I slept in. I was like, oh, this is glorious. I haven't slept in years. It's great. So anyway, I had fun. I kind of wanted to talk about our favorite foods. I don't know if you were into that.
I don't know if we did. I don't know that I did any food this time that I thought was.
I mean, so we went this week. We adjusted our plans by a day because there was a special promotion going on for some quick meals and snacks. So
Actually, if you are a Disney Chase Visa holder, they offered a free dining plan
yeah,
for some dates. We all had already booked the month of December. We booked it back in February, and when these dates came out, I think in June, they 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 released the dates in June, and it was like a promotion that, and it just so happened that we were scheduled to be there. We just had to change our dates by one day. So we checked in on Monday, checked out this morning, and free we had the free quick meal dining plan, which meant we got two quick meals and one snack per day per person.
right.
And I
Now,
mean, that's a lot. That's way more food than what you think.
I was number one. I was impressed with the quality of food at our hotel,
Yes.
our resort. We were staying at the Pop Century, and our first night there, you had the salmon, and I had the mojo chicken, and
Yeah, that was a good meal.
mashed potatoes, roasted potatoes, and green beans, and broccolini. It was great. Um, we ate in the different parks a little bit. Um, I was kind of let down with Harbor House. I kind
Yeah,
of felt like
that
their portion size was really tiny, and the crowd was ridiculous.
the food
Just
quality's
food
changed a lot
quality
there.
wasn't the greatest. It seems like every time we eat there, I compare it to Long John Silver's, and it just gets well. It makes Long John Silver look like Red Lobster.
Yeah.
I mean,
It did this time anyway.
it
Now,
was kind of sad.
did you have I had one, if I had, I mean, the food was okay. We did not go into this thinking that we were going to eat any
No, no,
fantastic
no,
food because
no.
this was quick meals, which
Yeah,
meant, which more or less means fast food. We had a
pretty
couple
much.
of flatbreads that were good.
We did
Um,
at the Trader Sam's. We had a flatbread with like a Gruyere cheese and the ham.
no, that was not at Trader Sam's.
That was not at Trader Sam's.
That was at Gaston's
That was at
in the
Gaston's.
Magic Kingdom. At Trader Sam's, we had,
Trader Sam's was the little tacos, the
yes,
Korean
and
tacos, and the dumplings.
yes, and that was not part of our quick
That
meals.
was just for extra
That
fun.
was us getting into Trader Sam's for the first
That was
time
us
ever.
getting into Trader Sam's for the first time. Yeah, so we've been trying to get into Trader Sam's on our previous trip and on this trip, and we finally did it. And the key is you get in line at at like 12:30, and you just stand there for 2 hours,
Yes.
and then you can get in.
And I'm glad I've done it, but I'm one and done.
Yeah,
I don't know that I would not wait for an hour and a half just to get my name.
if it wasn't exclusive like it is, I don't think anybody would be there.
No, no.
I think because of the exclusive nature of it, that's what makes people want to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could have just had a beer
Yeah,
and a taco.
I'm glad I've done it.
Yeah,
But I don't, I mean, I'm one and done on that one.
right. Now, one of the things that I enjoyed personally, was while you were waiting in line at Gideon's, I went over to the little Irish pub there across the way
Raglan Road.
and had a Blue Moon
That was at Disney Springs.
and got to Disney Springs and got to listen to some traditional Irish music and some tap dancers. Kind of odd, but
Not
folk
tap
dancers. Excuse me.
They Irish.
The Irish. They were doing an Irish jig.
There you go. That's
Yeah.
so not tap
I can
dancers.
say that I'm part Irish. Anyway, so yeah, it was great. It was a
And
good environment, and the people next to me were ordering food, and I kept looking over and thinking, "Why aren't we eating
yeah,
here?" But
now
then
I've
I
heard good
realized,
things. I've heard good things about their quick service, and I've heard good things about their table meals.
well, now the fish and chips that we had at Harbor House looked like Long John Silver's would make fun of it. This,
Yeah,
like this person next to me ordered a fish and chips, and I'm talking a fish like this. And I mean, the plate was you had to put like two arms
I
around the
know.
plate. I was like, "Whoa,
We could have eat
holy
there.
cow!" And then somebody else ordered the shepherd's pie, and it was just like on first sight and smell, you're like, "Oh, I want one of those." It was just amazing. But again, like, some of the top restaurants are at Disney Springs, but
Yes,
that's
now Disney Springs definitely has some amazing places to eat.
and unfortunately, all of the people know it, so they're all
Yes,
there.
it is very busy. And
So
especially this now it is beautifully decorated for Christmas. It snowed like it snoped last night.
It snoped. They made fake snow out of
Yeah,
soap.
it snope.
Yeah.
That's Florida snow. It's snope.
I actually it snoped several times in different
Yeah,
places.
it was very pretty last night at Disney Springs though. Very crowded. Food's always good. I will always, hands down, I don't care what anybody says, I am a Gideon's cookie lover.
Yeah.
And I always get a few cookies while I'm there.
Eh,
And I eat my
eh.
one pistachio cookie. It took me all week to eat it, but it was fantastic. I love it every time.
Yeah, but I mean, we had a Wookiee cookie. How does that compare?
No, didn't was not impressed with the Wookiee cookie. It was one that I'd heard on a podcast. I wanted to try it. One and done. One and done. But now the gray stuff is delicious.
The gray stuff is delicious.
If you don't believe me, ask the dishes.
That's how the song goes.
That's how, and it was good.
Yeah, yeah.
That was a cupcake that we ate at Gaston's, and I'm glad we got that one to split because there's no way I could eat that whole cupcake.
Yeah, that was a lot.
But that was so good.
Yeah.
I know now why it says that in the song, and why people have said the gray stuff is delicious.
Now, see, as I was eating it, I was thinking, what is this gray stuff? How do they make this?
It's some
It tastes like Cool Whip.
and Oreo cookie.
And yeah,
Yeah.
it's exactly what it tastes like.
Yeah.
And then they've somehow got gray in there. I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe
It was
little-
good. That's something I would eat again.
Yeah.
A Gideon's cookie always. I'm gonna always
Listen,
get a
I'll be
cookie.
honest. The little ham and cheese thing that we had there
Mhm.
was good too. That was really good. The flatbread.
There were several things that I had made a list. I would listen to or watch on YouTube, Disney food blog regularly, and they always have some good recommendations.
And every time we eat at the Animal Kingdom near Pandora, where
We
it lets
always
off,
get the cheeseburger pods.
everything we've eat there is good.
Yes,
I mean,
is
we've had several things to eat there,
Yeah.
and every time we've eat there, it's been fantastic.
that is Satuli.
Yeah, I don't know if somebody special manages that restaurant, but man, they do a fantastic job at that restaurant. That's good. And also, we've eaten at the Animal Kingdom before with the little bowls. What is it called? The macaroni bowls,
No, it's a protein bowl.
protein bowl.
Macaroni.
I don't know. My mind's all over the place.
But
I'm thinking totato, and that's
no,
not it.
That's the Woody's
breakfast.
lunch. That's Woody's lunchbox.
There's that too.
But now the last thing we need to say is we went there. We went to see
Ralph Macchio.
Not necessarily just him. I wanted to see Candlelight Processional.
You did.
It did not disappoint.
You
It
weren't
was
specific to Ralph Macchio, unlike a lot of the ladies that were there.
Yeah, there was a lot of people crazy
There was-
about Ralph Macchio.
There was a lot.
The Karate Kid.
A lot of ladies were hot for Karate Kid, man.
We did a
They
VIP
were-
package where we ate dinner and paid extra. I mean, it's about $25 a person on top of your meal to get the VIP seats. I wouldn't eat at that restaurant again, although we did a character dining at Garden Grill. I'm not going to say the food was bad. The food was okay. It wasn't anything I would want to eat again.
We got our picture taken with Mickey
We did get to see characters,
and
but
Pluto and Chip and Dale.
main reason I did that was so that we could get VIP seats
Mhm.
for Candlelight Processional. I'm glad I did. We got a seat, and that show is absolutely amazing. I mean,
And we happened to sit behind Ralph Macchio's fan club.
I guess. I mean, so people were video.
They
recording.
were they were beside themselves. They're like, there he is. And I heard that the whole time. I was like, calm down. It's still happening.
it was a great show. It is it's the same show every time. They have a guest narrator, a celebrity guest narrator, and they release those names and depending on who the person is.
And they apparently have kids from choirs come and sing as
Yes.
well.
And they
That's
have
part of the show.
part of the Voices of Liberty, which they're fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and they have a 50-piece orchestra. The music was great. I thoroughly enjoyed that. They did a great job with that. I see now why people will line up for hours. I mean, we stood in line for a good 45 minutes just for the VIP seating.
Yeah.
And we had good seats. I mean, I was not disappointed at all with the seats, and I was extremely thankful that we paid extra and got to sit down for the whole show.
Yes.
Because I don't think that we would have been able to see anything had we waited in line and stood in the back.
Yeah. So if you do the candlelight processional and pay the extra money for the meal, just remember there's still a line that you got to get into and wait for because there's a lot of the people that had the same plan. And you're going to get a seat, but
yeah, I saw
if you
people
want a
coming
really
in
good
at 10
seat,
minutes till 5. Well, our show, we did the 5 o'clock show.
Yeah.
And I saw people come in at 5 at 10 minutes till 5 and still got to sit down.
there's plenty of seats, but if you want a good seat,
Yeah.
you got to get in line early and stand in line for a while.
But that was very good.
Yep.
It all Christmas music, and the orchestra just makes that so much better. It was really good. I was glad we did that.
You know, my favorite part was
What?
Doing it with you.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Because we have our own inside jokes, and there's moments we both got to really enjoy, and moments we were both like, "Oh, this is so over it." But
yeah,
but it was so much fun to do, and I had a good time.
now our next trip we did book while we were there for next year, September. Not my choice for the month, but
so if you're out there and you're thinking about going, do not go in the middle of September. They're doing a lot of construction. You don't want to be there. It's going to be awful. I hear there's supposed to be a hurricane planned.
that
But
could
that's
very
when
well happen.
but that's when we're going because we're brave like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going because because one of our kids and grandkids going. So
Yeah.
I do want to go experience. That will be a different trip for us.
Sure.
I mean, the last trips, for the last, I don't know, 2012 was the last time we took kids.
We're getting in that weird grandparent stage where it's like, no, you guys go have fun. We're gonna sit here and watch.
I think we're probably going to have a lot of pool time on the next trip with the grandbaby.
I gotta lose some weight. Otherwise, they're gonna be like, sir. Oh no, he's dead. We got to get him out of there.
I don't know where
Roll
you
him
go.
over.
I don't know where you go with some of these stories
This
sometimes.
whale in the pool. We can't have a whale in the pool. Get out of the pool.
It was a good trip.
Yeah.
Not going to go in the month of December anymore.
No. I mean, it's bad enough that it's cold here, but you go to Florida and you think sunny Florida.
Oh, it was definitely warmer there though than it was here before we left.
The wind was like 22-mile-an-hour winds
It was gusty a few days.
for 2 days. Yeah.
But one of the days we had gusty wind. It wasn't cold. That was before it rained. It was rather warm.
Yep.
It was like 77 degrees.
Yep.
But it was a good trip. Any time off of work is always good.
We got to see The Mandalorian.
Yes,
in person.
Yep.
Yep.
So yeah, good trip.
Yep. Lots of fun stuff.
It was. Can't wait to the next time.
That's an hour.
Oh, okay.
We've done an hour.
All right.
Didn't feel like it. You got anything to promote?
No, promote.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, your own fragrance line or
no.
your
No.
onlylaundry.com or
Gotta finish Christmas shopping.
Okay.
Get Christmas presents wrapped.
Yep. There's still boxes behind us.
I know.
I know people are watching on YouTube going, what is all that? See the wrapping paper? Oh, did we talk about there's 62 rolls?
We did.
Okay,
we talked
just
about
making
that.
sure.
Yeah, we talked about that last time.
Yeah, a lot of rolls. Anyway,
it is.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Hope y'all having a great day and a Merry Christmas and all that fun jazz. And as always, don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, share this with your friends, and cue the cow.
Cue the cow. Moo, baby.